Peeps Galucia here, and today I'm bringing you the tool episode of my FTB Infinity Evolved / IndustrialCraft tutorial. So last episode we talked all about storage, and this episode I want to talk all about tools and gear. So in the last episode I hinted to the fact that some of you that are paying attention would have noticed that my tools have changed. That is because they are made out of bronze, and that I had some bronze gear, bronze helmet, bronze chest plate. But I didn't actually talk about this at all. So, if you haven't already picked up on it, you can make all these things out of bronze the same way that you can out of anything else. The recipes don't change. Do I have enough? I have 7 bronze ingots. So let's make... Well, I don't really want to spend it on leggings right now. But just as a demonstration, there you go. I could make leggings. The recipes are exactly the same. The benefits to doing this are as follows. The bronze has the exact same properties as iron. So a bronze pickaxe will break all the same things that an iron pickaxe would break. And an iron chest plate has the same protection value as an iron chest plate. The differences here are, number one, iron is super valuable for IndustrialCraft, and we don't want to waste it on tools and armor, if at all possible. Number two, and this is the more important bit, you're not using any more materials. For every 4 pieces of iron that you were using to make tools and gear, you're instead going to be using 1 piece of tin and 3 pieces of copper, essentially. So it's still it's a 1-to-1 ratio, or 4-to-4, however you want to break it down. So you're not using more materials, but in the long run, you're using half as many materials because the durability for bronze stuff is double what it is for iron. So a bronze pickaxe has a max durability of 500, and as you can see here, an iron pickaxe has a maximum durability of 250. So we're going to wax stuff twice as much with the bronze pickaxe before it breaks. Thus, you're going to use it twice as long and use half the amount of materials before that has to be replaced. That's a big deal. So as soon as you're able to start doing bronze, it's definitely worth doing it. It's an easy way to upgrade all of your stuffs. Now, that's for all of your hand tools. But this is IndustrialCraft. It's the industrial age. Science! So we want power. We're going to reverse engineer this, and I'm going to break it down for you. So, and then the big reveal. So to start off, we're making a coil. Copper cable, and this is why I don't insulate cable unless I need it, because you never know when you're going to need naked cable. So, recipe for coil, bam. The coil is going to go into here as such, and that's going to make an electric motor. That's a recipe to remember because you're going to make a lot of electric motors in IndustrialCraft as time goes on. So that electric motor is going to go right there. I'm purposely keeping it there because it's hiding the reveal. But there's the rest of the recipe. These are iron item casings, as you can see. The other ones were tin, in case you didn't notice. So that gives us a power unit. Now, the power unit is a building block for 2 different things. One of those things, which is awesome, is a chainsaw. Chainsaw. And the chainsaw, not only does the chainsaw cut down trees a lot faster than an axe would, which should be obvious at this point, but it also has a high attack value. You can see that it says +2 attack damage right now, but that's because it doesn't have any power. If it's filled with power, if I'm not mistaken, it's an attack of 9, as opposed to my bronze sword was an attack of 6. So technically you can attack stuff with a chainsaw and it does more damage than a bronze or iron sword would, which is pretty awesome. And it's really good at cutting down trees. The other thing is the drill. The mining drill works just like a pickaxe and a shovel. It works for both things that, dirt, stone, everything that you would dig with a shovel and a pickaxe. But the key to the mining drill is that not only is the power unit used for creating the mining drill as well, but the mining drill is a key component to another machine that we haven't really touched on yet. But I want to take this opportunity really quick to touch on, the miner. So up to this point, everything, literally everything that I've been doing has been because I want to make a miner. The miner is exactly what it sounds like. It literally mines. It digs for you. It digs tunnels down into the ground, finds valuable stuff, and shoots it up. You can see here, here's the ingredients. They're not that complicated. The only thing that you're not aware of up till now is the mining pipe, which is a very basic recipe, as you can see. We're not going to make one right now, although technically I have all the mats. I can make that right now if I wanted to. That's not the point. There's things that have to go inside of the miner to make it work. One of those things is the mining drill. It uses the mining drill to dig. Making a mining drill now to use isn't the worst idea, because eventually you're going to have to make it anyway, because you have to make it to put inside the miner. So I mean, if you're going to have to make it anyway, then you may as well make it. Now the key to this is that this has to be charged. Now this is considered you can see right there, it says right below the name, it says power tier 1. So this is considered a tier 1 item for IndustrialCraft. Tier 1 items can be charged in any of the storage devices, including the lowest, which is the bat box. The higher tiers need to be charged in higher tier equipment. And we're obviously not there yet. We're not going to even get into that or talk about it. But I have 40,000 power. The mining drill stores 30,000 power. So this is going to take the majority of my power. And it does use a decent amount of power to dig around. Right now, at this exact point, I don't have a ton of power to actually spare. I can only generate 10 EU per tick because I only have that one generator. So I just charge this up because actually it needs to be charged anyway when you stick it in the miner. If you don't, the miner won't start working until this charges inside the miner itself. It's a process, I know. So I charged it because it was going to have to be charged anyway, and I'm not using any of my machines, so the bat box will fill back up relatively quickly. But I'm not actually going to use it to dig just yet because I want to wait until I have better sources to obtain my power. So really quick, I'm going to go ahead and also make the chainsaw, and then we will move on to the next bit of tools that I want to work on. Okay, excuse me. Man, would you believe that I literally had exactly enough copper to build the chainsaw and the small power unit? I'm out of copper. I can't believe, like, literally every plate, I'm out. I need to go mining again. So this is the exact same recipe as the other power unit, but this is a small power unit. So it only needs 1 battery instead of 3 batteries. That's the only difference, and the obvious reason for that is that the larger power unit for the chainsaw and drill holds 30,000 power, 3 batteries. This one is smaller. It only holds 10,000. Why am I trying to put it in the machine before I actually build something out of it? So we need a tree tap. It has to be an unused tree tap is a key here. You see I have a damaged tree tap. That would not work. Actually, we can just craft this right in our own personal window because it's that easy. Electric tree tap. So now you don't have to keep using up your wood to continue to make tree taps, and it's not as big of a deal. The smaller power tools, not as useful necessarily as the larger ones are. I mean, we could keep making tree taps. It's not the end of the world, but again, we're playing IndustrialCraft, so I already have a tree tap, and so I want to use up. It's nighttime. I don't want to do anything. I want to go to sleep really quick. Since I already have a tree tap, I do want to use it up before I go ahead to the electric tree tap. So now I get to show you my tree situation. We're going to have to kill a couple of dudes in the process. Actually, can this show us that? Yeah, aha, see? Plus 9 attack damage instead of 6. It's better than a sword. Die. Now that it's charged, it tells you that it's better. I hate fighting skeletons in the water! Oh, really? Really, stealth shot? Oh my freaking god. Get over here! I hate fighting skeletons in the water. Hate it. Okay. Anyway. So this is the IndustrialCraft rubber tree. I left one standing so that you can see what it looks like, because we actually haven't looked at it yet. And these are all my floating blocks. So you can see there's a tap. There's an angry Enderman around here. That is, we know that much. There he is. Well, he doesn't look angry. Oh yeah, he's angry. Not sure why. Okay, so tree tap. That's a tree tap. Smack it with the thing, and there you go. We got resin. The reason that these blocks are floating about is for the following. Whenever I grow a rubber tree for an actual rubber tree farm, I look for the taps. Sometimes they're hiding behind leaves. See? Huh? So we make sure we get all of them. We cut down the blocks that we're not using. And that leaves us with just the blocks that have the tree taps. And they'll stay, and they will keep regrowing, just like this one here, floating up in the sky. The reasons for that is that we get to collect the wood, which we can get rubber from. And, did I get this one? No. And it makes it easier. You don't have to keep looking for the tap to remember where it is. It's right there. It cuts down the tree. You can still, a skeleton can get shade being right here, and trust me, they do. You'll come out the house and see a skeleton literally standing like this under this one block. But it doesn't have a bunch of leaves and stuff, so at least it can't, you know, hide under a much larger, look at that. Exactly enough durability on the tree tap to use it up. Isn't that special? So yeah, so that's how I like to grow. And this is why I prefer the IndustrialCraft 2 rubber trees as opposed to the other kind, because you can just have these floating blocks of funniness out here, not taking up a whole lot of space, and always ready to give us some resin. And of course, as we discussed before, we get 3 pieces of rubber per resin. So it's efficient. It gets the job done. I like it. Stick that in the storage. So that's the thing. And then that. So now that that's used up, next time I want to go out and collect my stuff, I will just use the electric tree tap. And it doesn't use a lot of power. That'll last a long time before it has to be charged again. The only other thing that I can't make right now because I have to go out and get copper is the electric wrench. So, same as before, small power unit, and then an unbroken wrench, just like before when we used an unbroken tree tap. That'll give us an electric wrench. Little bit more power. Interestingly, it stores 12,000 as opposed to 10, which is awkward. Again, that's just... Now, this is a little bit more useful, in my opinion, than the tree tap, because bronze has a value to it. And, you know, it doesn't wear out fast. You can see how much durability we still have on the wrench, but we haven't been using it a whole lot. Later in the game, you will use the wrench pretty often, and so you're going to end up using more and more bronze in the process. And, again, if we can avoid it, we don't want to use up our bronze. So, and if for no other reason, again, it's IndustrialCraft. Science. We're in the age of whateverness, so we want to use power tools. Like, it's just it's over time it gets more and more silly. It feels more and more silly to use the hand tools when you could have this raw power to smack trees with. Rah. So as you can guess, you're not losing, and you'll never lose durability on this item, just power. It has power instead of durability, so every time you refill it, you're good to go. So it's one and done, and you'll never have to build another one again. You'll just have to occasionally charge it. So it's a really nice feature. I like using the power tools, and I actually find more use early game for the power chainsaw as opposed to the mining drill. Again, because the mining drill does die relatively quickly, and it does take a lot of power, and we only have that one way to power. Oh, and then a feature of the chainsaw that I totally forgot about until I accidentally smacked a leaf. You can pick up leaves with it. It works like a shear wood, where you can pick up leaves. And we just took down 4 trees. We used 5,000 power to do it. So it is a little bit hungry. You know, it does use a little bit up, but it's not the end of the world. And it is so much faster, as you could see. So I like it. I like the chainsaw, and the drill does have a use later in the game. That is for sure. So it was important to get it going now. But So that is it for now. As I stated, I am completely... I mean, look at this. I've got just empty drawers for days. I need to go down into the mines and do a whole bunch of mining so that we can get the next pieces of machinery and work towards the miner that I talked about earlier. That is going to be key. We need to get the miner. So, I am going to leave you, but I'm going to do one last thing before we go, because I talked about a lot of tools. We talked about increasing some of our armor using bronze and stuff like that, but we went into the electrical age with the tools and stuff, but we haven't done anything really to enhance our armor. Technically enhanced our weapon with the chainsaw, nothing for our armor. I'm about to change that. So I'm quickly just showing you the mats for this. I'm not making it just yet, but it's expensive, but it's pretty good. Composite Vest. This has a protection value of 9, and it's expensive. You need to make a chest plate out of leather, a chest plate out of iron, and you need 6 advanced alloys, which are not easy. It requires the compressor, and it requires these mixed metal ingots, which is 3 different metals: iron plates, bronze plates, and tin plates make the mixed. So it's expensive. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not cheap. But a protection value of 9 is nothing to scoff at. And the reason for that is because it's 1 better than a diamond chest plate. So you will actually get more protection than you will with diamond. There's no composite pants and stuff like that. That's the only piece that you can make of that. But it gives you better than diamond, so a lot of arguments could be made for the fact that it's worth it. However, there is other gear that can be made, but it's later game and we're not ready for it. Sometimes, depending on how well I'm doing with collecting resources, I will skip the composite vest and go to the tier 3 gear that we're not going to talk about in this episode. Don't know for sure yet if that's what's going to happen this time around. We have to wait and see how I do with my collection of stuff down in the mine. So I'm going to go do that right now. I'm going to go start mining, as I said earlier. And yeah, so that is everything that we learned about today. Again, I feel like we got a lot accomplished. Advanced our IndustrialCraft / FTB Infinity Evolved careers. And we are ready to get going on the next episode. So on the next episode is key. The next episode, we are going to expand on our power generation. Go beyond just having a basic generator so that we can create more power, because we are going to need more power if we're going to run the miner. That's important, because the miner is not easy to power and run, and we're already having power issues with just the one generator with the machines that we have as it is. So we're going to expand on our power generation, and we're going to create every component we need to build the miner. Probably won't actually set it up. That'll be a whole other tutorial, but we will get all the components that we need to get it up and running. So next episode is exciting. It's a big milestone episode. I appreciate the viewing support up to now. I appreciate everyone's glorious feedback. Everyone's been very kind to me, and I really appreciate all the kind words that everyone's had to say about this tutorial and how much it is helping them. I hope it continues to help you, and I will see you next episode. Later.